Yeah. So the issue with the blueprint thing was kind of like subtle. Um, so when we created the variable in the Blackboard, we selected a key type of object, and like as you'll probably know from like other like programming stuff, like you can't make like an incompatible type fit into like a typed field, right? So like if if one operation wants like an integer and you give it like a string, it'll fail, right? And so what was going on was that the move to node requires you to have like an actor type in order to do that. So here under key type, I had to open up this little arrow in the Blackboard and switch the base class to actor. And as soon as I did that and saved the Blackboard, then in the behavior tree, the Blackboard key showed up. So we were able to like put that together. And so once that move to was set in this, patrol point thing, right? We were able to change the behavior of the walker. So when I go into the game now, we had earlier we had selected this enemy one from our world outliner. We had changed the current patrol points to be all these different things for this particular instance. And then we build the project and we hit play. And this time, whenever we look over, you see the little enemy dude is walking to one control point and then turned around, and now it's walking to the other patrol point and then turns around. So we were able to create the thing that we wanted, and now I can kind of be annoying to it, right, and get in the way of the patrol points. So it's kind of fun to just kind of stand in the way and see what it does. So it'll kind of like walk around me basically to get to the point. And so with that, we can kind of like create kind of like 1992 video game like patrol points, right? So being able to create enemies that kind of like run back and forth and stuff like that. And then the way to kind of like think about like making some of these things a little bit more complicated is to add kind of some randomness into the behavior tree. And so one thing that we've got here is there's this field in the node, which is like the acceptable radius, which is like whenever you set the target for your point, like how close do you have to get to it to actually flip around. And so it's set at like 5 here, but if you turn it up to like 30, it kind of allows you to like sort of stop kind of like close-ish to it without having to be like exactly on it. And this can be a really big issue whenever you've got like target points that might not be with like exactly on the ground or something like that. The other thing that we can do here is we've got this wait task here. We can click on that, and we can kind of change up the amount of time here. And so we can do random deviation of 1 to kind of like make that like random within like 1. So it's like 3 plus or minus 1 for the amount of time, and it'll kind of like do that automatically, like making it kind of change. So that's kind of what's going on there. So that's kind of the whole movement thing. And now the next piece is figuring out how to like make the enemy chase the player. And so that's kind of a tricky thing. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go into the enemy controller blueprint, and we have this event begin play, and we have this different thing, and we're going to go here on the component here, and we're going to add something to it so that it can sense whenever you have another player. So we're going to do this. We're going to go to the components, and we're going to look for pawn sensing. And pawn sensing is an AI component that allows you to have your enemy select whenever there's another play. So we're going to open up, and we're going to create a new event here called on C pawn. Boom. And that comes from the pawn sensing thing. And we're going to start building up a behavior tree to figure out like what their position is. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cast to first person character, which will give us access to kind of all the parameters on our character. And what we're going to do is we're going to change our blackboard. We're going to add a thing to make the blackboard aware of the player character. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our blackboard again. So go back over here. We're going to add a new key. We're going to give this one another object key here called player actor. We're going to do the same sort of thing here where last time, we had the base class here. We're going to change that base class to actor as well. And we're going to save all that. We're going to go back to our enemy controller now. We're going to now set the player actor to be our first person character. So here we're going to do set value as object. What the heck? That's weird. Okay. So here we're going to do bloopity bloop. We're going to do a get blackboard. Our target here, we're going to drag this out. We're going to say we want a self. Here on our return value here, we can do a set value as object. Now we've got this. Now we can bring in our first person character to be the object value. We're going to do this to that for our execution tree, and then we're going to add a make literal name to set our key for our player actor variable. And so we put that there, and we put that in here and tie it to the key name. And so now we've got kind of all of our different nodes to save the player character. And so we can build that there. Yeah. So now we have this kind of like second branch for our thing. We've changed our base class to actor. We've set up this second variable. We're going to document it, right? So put in a comment here. And yeah, then we've got our new variable. So the next thing that we do is we go into this behavior tree, and we're going to have another sequence that connects to tasks to get to the to chase the player. So one thing that's kind of interesting about the behavior tree is that it runs like left to right. So we want, like, if it sees a player to do that right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag this new node over to the left of all the rest of the different things. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a sequence node here, and we're going to call it move. We're going to call this one to attack player, which is yeah, pretty cool. So we have that there, and then what we're going to do is it's going to be doing. It only works whenever we have the player actually in view of the rest of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a decorator node. And so a decorator kind of changes the things, the behavior of this particular sequence. And so we go under add decorator, and we can go here to Blackboard to select a Blackboard based condition on it. And that Blackboard based condition, it triggers off of a particular key, and so we can pick which one. And here we're going to choose, is set. We're going to choose the player actor, right? To make sure that it will attack if it's set there. And we're going to say observer of vorts with the lower priority things. So if it is set, then it will attack the player. But if it's not, then it will continue on to select between the other different elements. Yeah, so pretty cool. And we can change the name of this to better reflect what our conditional is. So we're going to say can see player, right? And so then what we're going to do is we're going to create this sort of behavior to attack the player. And so here what we're going to do is we're going to attach to this a move to behavior, and we're going to have it move to the player actor. So it will start chasing the player if they're set. And what we want to do is we want to have a waiting behavior that happens as well, to give a chance to actually attack the player. So we're going to move to the player. We're going to wait for some amount of time, and then we'll do the actual attacking after that. So we'll do 2 seconds on this. And I think with the move to action, we want to make this a little bit fuzzier so that they kind of stop a little bit further out. And then, that's kind of how that works. So one of the things that we can see if it just kind of works at this point, which I think it should, because we have the controller here to sense the character and then set the variable, and then we have this movement to chase the character. And one last thing is that the is will be like, how do we reset that move to variable so that you can keep on playing the different the game without that. So okay, so now oh boy, so now it's like kind of coming at me forever, which is kind of terrifying and would be a good mechanism for like a zombie game, right? So the zombies just chase you forever. And we haven't really done much more, but at this point, you can kind of see how that behavior changes, and we can also probably move our enemy so that so that we can not be seen right away. So let's escape this. Let's see here. Where's our dude? Yeah. We're gonna move him kind of behind this wall. Okay. So now our dude is kind of walking around. Oh, and now he saw me. So, as soon as he sees me, he starts coming towards me. So, pretty fun. Okay. So we've got that. We've got the wait. So now we need a way to kind of like end the chase. And so what we have to do is we have to create a new task in the behavior tree. And so up here, there's like new decorator, new service. We're going to create a new task node here. And this task node will create this BT task, behavior tree task, blueprint base new, which is kind of a ridiculous name. So we can do this, but let's rename this task because it's kind of like a bad name. So we're going to rename this as reset value task. Okay, and so this is kind of in the big picture of game development, right? Is like encapsulating the behavior of the thing. And so what we're going to do is before we do anything with nodes in our event graph here, we're going to do go to the My Blueprint panel here with the graph. We're gonna do we're gonna add two different variables. So one variable we're gonna call our key, and that is going to be a Blackboard key. For this, so if we search here for Blackboard key selector here, that'll be that. And then we're going to create another variable here called actor. And over here in our variable type, we're going to get a little bit more complicated too. We're going to add a object type here of actor. And so both of these, we're going to want to have the instance editable behavior on it, right? And that will work. So now we can actually start adding in the behavior here. So we're going to add a kind of weird thing. So we're going to do event receive execute. So that's coming from the behavior tree. Whenever we fire this different thing, it's going to give us this sort of thing. We're going to do a set Blackboard value as object again. We're going to do the key here. We're going to say get key. Going to drag that to the key value there, and then the actor. We're going to drop that down here. Get actor. drop that into the value. So now we have the key and the actor coming in, and then we're going to have a finish execute to close this off. And our target is self, and we're going to check the success box. There you go. So this allows us to designate a Blackboard key whenever we go back to the behavior tree, and enable us to reset the behavior. So here we go into here, we add a new task, right? So we're going to say this will be the reset value task, right, from our previous thing. Over here we've got node name and different things here. So we're going to change this to reset player scene, and it should have variables here. Let's see here. I think the thing that's missing here is that we haven't compiled this yet, so it's not yet in our worldview. Okay, so now we have the key. We're going to change the key here to player actor, and we're going to set this actor to none whenever we get this thing. So yeah. So here we go. We've got all of our stuff. We're going to save this. We're going to go back into here. We're going to hit play. So here we are. We've got our cubes. And where's our dude? Where's our dude? See, he's on the other side of the map. Right? Yeah. And so now he's walking towards me. Oh. Continuing to walk towards me. So we've got a little bit of a bug to debug here, in that the thing is not patrolling and is instead just following me forever. So we need to kind of change some of those behaviors. So yeah. So we've kind of got the core things put together, but we don't yet have the behavior that we expected when we were putting this all together. And so let's see here. We're going to go back to our behavior tree and see what's going on. So here we've got the can see player. It's looking for if player's actor is set in the Blackboard, and if it is set, then it will attack player. And we notice on this result change here, and then otherwise we're just going to move to patrol and look at the idle. So we're going to look now at the let's see here. We're going to look at our defaults on our enemy controller. So here we've got this on-see pawn thing that's doing that. We're looking at our enemy player here. We have no default on player actor. We have no default on patrol point. We're going to look at enemy character here. We've got current patrol point 1, and patrol point 2. So that's all working together. Where did I put a bug? So there's that. Got our defaults set up as those different patrol points. Let's see here. Part of why it might not be sensing is because we moved really close to that first patrol point. So I'm going to put this guy back here. Okay. Build. Cool. But yeah, that's kind of the basic steps on getting set up. I'm going to try and debug this and figure out like why it's not quite flipping the state right. But I think that's kind of it for today. Does anybody have any questions about how the course